Okay. So we're actually going to do a standing warm up today, a little change of pace. So start just with your feet about hip width apart, and we'll take the arms up overhead and take a nice stretch. And just gently sway kind of from the hips over to the left and over to the right. And we don't have to go too far here, trying to elongate the spine and just add in a little bit of gentle movement. Good. And then we're going to take the feet a little bit wider and keep that moving, but make a full circle and bend the knees as you sweep the hands down towards the ground and reach up to the other side. So you're kind of making a big circle going all the way around. And because this is kind of a warm up, it's good to bend the knees so the hamstrings kind of don't get overstretched on this one. And even when you reach the top, you might like to reach up, back, kind of opening up a little bit. Come all the way down and let's meet all the way back up at the top and then slowly change direction. Coming all the way down. Good. You can breathe out as you go down. Inhale as you come up. And let's do one more and finish all the way up at the top. Bring the hands down to the hips, keep the legs where they are, and do some circles with the hips, just going a few times in one direction and then back in the other direction. And you might feel a little bit at the front, or you might feel a little bit in the hamstrings now. And this is still warming up, so you don't have to make these circles very big. Good. And then come all the way up, shift your weight to your left foot and just spin the right toes on the mat. You might like to kind of flex the toes or do some circles. Kind of leave that up to you. Find what works best. And then switch over to the other side, transfer your weight to the other foot, do some circles, spin the knee, flex and point the foot. Just kind of getting some movement into the feet a little bit. Great. Let's not forget about our hands. So you're going to bring your hands in front, and I'll stand to the side so you can see. You're going to bring the forearms together. Turn the palms out as if you were offering something. So you're getting a little stretch for the wrists here, and then turn the hands inside out so the back of the hands come together and you stretch the arms away. And you could even take a little stretch for the upper back here, kind of stretching the fingers out, maybe dropping the head between the arms. Lift up and then turn the hands back inside out and take a little stretch here, kind of trying to reach the fingers down and then turn them inside out and reach forward again. A couple more times like this. Just kind of getting those wrists moving, a little bit of an upper back stretch. Good, and then come all the way back, do one more stretch, and then kind of pump the fists and fingers and give them a little shake out. Okay, so let's come all the way up to the top of our space. Bring the base of the big toes together. Your ankles should be about 1 inch apart, and look down at the feet. And your second toe should be more or less pointing straight forward. From here, inhale the arms up overhead, big stretch. And then as you exhale, fold forward, coming down into your forward bend with a little bend in the knees to protect the hamstrings. Now we can lift up, and we're going to try to straighten the legs a little bit by squeezing the quads and lift the kneecaps up and back. Let the hands rest on the shins and then lift the spine until it's about parallel with the floor. So a little bit more engagement of the legs now, and you might feel the hamstrings a bit more now. Exhale, fold the body in towards the legs. And this time we're just going to sweep back up to standing. So we're going to repeat that one more time. Big stretch here, inhale. Exhale, fold forward with a bend in the knees, hands down towards the feet. And then as you inhale up, squeeze the quads so you're getting an engagement of the whole leg, and the kneecaps are lifting up and back. And that's helping to protect the hamstrings and keep all the muscles of the leg strong. And then lift the spine so your back is nice and flat. So we want to avoid too much rounding here. Think of drawing the shoulder blades back, heart center up a little, crown of the head reaching forward. And then release, fold in towards the legs and sweep the arms up overhead again. Big stretch here. Inhale. Now we'll move into a sun salutation. So you're going to exhale, fold forward. Repeat that halfway lift where we're really engaging the body to come into this L shape. And then exhale, fold in towards the legs. Place the hands on the floor so you can bend the knees a lot here to make sure you've got a good foundation. And we're going to step the right foot back into the lunge. From here, just pivot forward and back a couple of times. And then slide the left foot back and come into plank. Engage the core here. Press the floor actively away and then drop the knees and bend the elbows straight back to lower yourself to the floor. Chin, chest to the ground and stretch those legs out behind you. Heel up into a mini cobra. So here we engage the back of the body to lift up. Take the hands, see if you can take the hands off the floor, see if you can hold yourself up, and then place the hands down, lift up and back. Stretch into a short child's pose here. So tailbone back over the heels, stretching the arms out. And then exhale and slowly make your way to downward dog. So this first downward dog is always a kind of check-in. Keep a bend in the knees, but think about the back as being long and flat. So actively push the hands into the floor at the same time as taking the tailbone away from the hands. Then you can begin to pedal out the feet and stretch one leg at a time gently, opening up the calf, getting into the connective tissue around the feet and the ankle a little bit more. You can even move the feet from side to side. And then look forward and just walk the feet up towards the hands so you come to the top of the mat. Let's just hang here for a moment in a forward fold. Keep a little micro bend in the knees. Take hold of each elbow and just sway from side to side. So now the head is acting like a weight to help stretch out the spine. Try to relax the face, relax the jaw. Kind of pouring the upper body down over the legs. Good. Release the hands and then begin to roll up to standing one vertebrae at a time. Uncurling, come all the way up. Good. When you reach the top, do some shoulder rolls. Take those shoulders in some circles. Going backwards a few times. And then go forward a couple more times. So just kind of working out some kinks. You might hear some creaks and pops. Good. And then have a little shake out of the hands. And let's bring the base of the big toes together again. From here, let's bring our hands to our heart center. Take a quick breath in. Full exhale. And as you inhale now, sweep the arms up overhead. Big stretch here. Exhale, fold forward, diving down, bringing the hands towards the feet. Inhale, engage the legs, come up into this L shape. And then exhale, fold, keeping that engagement into the legs. Now you can bend the knees, place the hands on the floor, step the left foot back way behind you for a lunge, long lunge, and just pivot forward and back again. Just a couple of times, warming up the foot and the right hip, and then slide that right foot back to a plank. So again, nice strong activation here. Drop the knees to the ground and then bend the elbows, squeezing them into the side of the body as you lower yourself down, stretch out the feet behind you, and come up onto your forearms for a Sphinx pose. Here, press the floor away actively. Even press the feet and the legs into the floor to see if you can draw the heart center as if you're trying to stretch it forward to the front of your mat. And there's a headlight on your sternum facing forward. Big inhale. Exhale, slide the hands down, release the body down to the floor, and then push yourself up and back into a child's pose. Again, just for a brief pause here to counteract the back bend. Inhale. And exhale, make your way to downward dog. Lifting those hips up and back and pedaling out the feet. Just stretching out the feet. So we're just going to do a couple of different stretches for the hamstrings. You'll notice this in different places. Bring the heels together and take the feet wide apart into almost like a ballet position with the feet. And just lift and lower the ankles here. Keep breathing deeply. And then step the feet forward and try the opposite. Bring the toes together, take the ankles wide apart. And again, you can lift and lower or hold in a static stretch. Good. Take one more inhale and then step the feet back. Now we're going to push the hands into the floor and walk the body to the back of the mat. And take each heel to the back corner of your mat and come into a fold here. We're going to sweep the hands around to the outside of the right foot and then make a kind of rainbow shape across as you take the hands over to the outside of the left foot. So you're getting a little twist as you sweep from left to right here. And you can make this a swaying motion. You can just kind of make it really slow. Keep a good bend in the knees if you'd like to. Try to release the head down towards the ground so you're getting the weight of the head again, acting as some traction for the spine. And then slowly bring the hands back to the middle. Turn the heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, until the feet are a little closer together. Bend the knees and roll up to standing. Good. From here, have a little shake out. Shake the feet, shake the hands, and walk back up to the top of the mat. Bring the base of the big toes together again. Hands at heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Diving into your forward bend. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, come into your forward bend. Place the hands down. We're going to step the right foot back and drop the right knee to the floor. Put the top of the foot on the ground. And we're just going to do that dynamic sequence in the low lunge to warm up the hamstrings a little bit. So this is going to be where you can begin to develop that awareness of how are my hamstrings doing today. So we're going to slide the hips back and keep a bend in the knee. Think about the hips coming straight back, but the heart is a little lifted so that we're not kind of rounding and closing off our airways. When I think of breathing nice and deeply, and then we can kind of flow backwards and forwards a few times here. So we're keeping this quite dynamic. We're not going to settle into a deep stretch here because we're going to do that a little bit later. But this should give you an idea of how the hamstrings are doing and also how this right hip flex is feeling. Good. Come all the way forward. Tuck the back right toes under. Lift up that back right leg. Slide the left foot back and come to plank. Let's just do a little vinyasa. So from here, it's actually using your core. We're going to inhale and then exhale. Use the core to lift the hips up and back and come to downward dog. And pedal out the feet when you get there. You can roll the top of the foot over, massage the feet. Then we're going to look forward and step the right foot up between the hands. Drop the left knee down and put the top of the foot on the floor. And then begin the same process of taking the hips back, keeping the spine as long as you can. I know sometimes it can be tricky here. You want to be up on your fingertips as much as possible if your hips and hamstrings are pretty tight today. But keep it moving so that you can kind of make this a dynamic exercise. Coming forward and back. Just warming up that right hamstring, getting into the left hip flexor a little bit. And this is a great one that we do quite a lot here because there are lots of options that we can build around it. And today we're just using it really as a warm-up. Okay, let's come all the way forward. Tuck the back left toes under, lift up that back left leg, and then step the foot forward. And just come into a forward bend again. Inhale, rise up to halfway. Exhale, fold, and then sweep the arms up as you press the feet into the ground and stand up nice and tall, taking the arms overhead, and then exhale the hands to heart center. Just pause here for a moment to do a quick check-in. You can close the eyes if you'd like to. Take a nice big inhale and a full exhale. Good. Release the hands. And we're going to step the right foot back about a stride's length so we can come into pyramid pose. The right toes are going to turn out about 45 degrees, but the hips want to be square here towards the front of your mat. The key here is firming up the legs. So press the feet actively into the floor, squeeze the quads, and bring your hands to your hips. Stand up nice and tall. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to hinge from the hip, taking the hips back and leaning the crown of the head forward, just until you feel a stretch. Now we should feel this in the back of the hamstring. If it's too much, you might need to slide the right foot in or out, or even take the foot a little further, take the feet further apart. Keep those quads nice and strong. So squeeze the quad so that we're not going to overstretch the hamstring. And hold this for another couple of breaths with the back flat. So this is called an active pyramid pose. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release the hands. And now you can let that back curl. And this is more of a passive pyramid pose. So here we're going to release the jaw, release the eyebrows, the face. Try not to let this left hip swing out. Try to keep the hips going straight back. One more inhale. Exhale, bend the left knee, slide the right foot up and come up to standing. Have a little shake of the feet, maybe the hands too. And let's try the other side. So we're going to step the left foot back into about a stride's length. The left toes are going to turn out about 45 degrees and turn those hips so they're facing the front of your yoga mat or feel square with your shoulders. Again, squeeze the quads, firm up the feet. Inhale, lengthen the crown of the head up and then begin to hinge from the hip, thinking about keeping that back flat. Take the hips away from the front right foot until you feel a warm stretch in the back of the leg. Again, you can always slide this foot in or take it a little bit out to the side. And here we're in the active phase of this pose. So it's very strong. Keep breathing. Try not to hold the breath. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, now release the spine so you can kind of pull down over your leg into what they call a more of a passive stretch. So the hands can really rest wherever they're comfortable. It could be your shin. But again, keep this right hip coming straight back. Draw the hip back, but keep the foot pressing into the floor. So you should be getting a nice deep stretch for the hamstring, but the whole leg is involved. Take another big inhale. And exhale, bend the knee, slide that foot up. Sweep the arms up overhead. Take a nice big stretch here. Inhale. And exhale, lower the hands to the heart center. Nice work. So let's come down to the mat. And this is where we're going to need our yoga strap. So we should have kind of taken the hamstrings through some ranges of motion, kind of actively, passively, giving them a little bit of stretch. But now we're going to focus a little bit more intensely just on the hamstring. And we're going to get a great inversion for the legs. So you're going to put the strap or your prop around the padding behind your toes. So not on the arch, but kind of right behind the toes. And kick the foot up into the strap and keep the left foot and the knee bent for support here. So both hands are holding onto an end of the strap. And from here, you want really the elbows to be resting on the floor. If your strap's too short, don't worry, this is fine. But try not to kind of yank on the strap. It's just a gentle stretch here. So really keep breathing. We shouldn't have too much grimacing, but I understand if your hamstrings are tight. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed and try to keep the upper body nice and flat on the floor. A couple of things we can start with is just pointing and flexing the toe and just warming up the foot a little bit. You can even do some circles with the foot. Just kind of get used to it. And then begin to kick the heel up and draw the toes down towards you. And this is where you can use the strap to guide the toes towards you a little bit until you feel a nice warm stretch in the belly of the hamstring. If you feel anything behind the knee, put a bend in the knee. Press the back actively into the floor. So we're also making sure that this is really in the hamstring and not pulling onto the lower back or the pelvis. Don't forget to breathe. Keep drawing that foot in. One more inhale and then exhale. Release the stretch a little bit and put both parts of the strap into the right hand. The left hand is going to reach onto the floor. The palm is going to be on the ground for support. And we're going to let the right leg fall out to the side. So again, here it's about the opening of the right hip with the hamstring stretch. So the left hip needs to stay glued to the floor. Try not to roll over with the right leg. And breathe into this. Again, you can point and flex the toe here. We're getting into the groin, the inner thigh. For an anchor, you can always press the left foot into the floor if that helps. Take one more breath and then slowly lift up the leg. Switch the strap into the other hand. Place the right hand on the floor now. And you may need to stretch out the left leg along the ground so you can now let the right leg roll over to the left until you feel maybe a stretch around the outside of the right hip, getting into the right IT band. But again, we don't need to go too far with this for it to be beneficial. A couple of other options, you can lift and lower the right leg a little bit, point and flex the toe. So we've got like a nice reclined spinal twist, but using the strap just means we can focus on different areas of the body. Good. Take one more inhale and then use your core to help you lift that leg up. Now, keeping the right leg up in the air, take the left foot up and see if you can transfer your prop over to the other foot. Again, placing it behind the toes. Bring the right foot down to the floor, keep that right knee bent. And now begin going through the same process on the left. And just begin that kind of heightening of awareness. Do you feel any difference in this left hamstring? Again, really keep this right leg pressed into the floor so you can begin to isolate the stretch into the left leg. Point and flex the toe a few times. And then kick the heel away as you draw the toes towards you. And you can use a little bit of your arm strength now to help draw those toes towards you. Again, we're looking for into the belly of the hamstring. So keep a bend in the knee if you feel any stretching behind the knee. Breathe nice and deeply. One more inhale. And then exhale and switch the strap into your left hand, right hand on the floor for an anchor, and let the left leg roll out to the side. And you can lower the left elbow to the ground until you feel a nice opening through that left hip, left thigh, inner thigh, groin. Try not to roll with it. Try to isolate the movement into that left side. How are we doing for time? One more inhale, and then using your core on the exhale, come back to center. Switch the strap into your right hand, extend the right leg along the mat, and then guide that leg over. And your left hand can come onto the floor now. So now we've got this great stretch for the outside of the left hip, getting into the left IT band. It's going to get into the outer hamstrings as well. And you can lift and lower the leg here a few times, point and flex the toe. Keep breathing nice and deeply. You can turn the face to look over your left arm to get the full spinal twist. And keep that right leg a little active, pressing against the floor. That's just going to help to give you an anchor. Let's take one more inhale. And as you exhale, use the core to help you lift up that leg. Good. And then we're going to slowly bend the knee, take the strap down, place it to one side. And then just bring both soles of the feet together and come into a cobbler pose or Baddha Konasana just for a moment. So you can let the benefits of those hamstring openers, stretches, just kind of move through the body. Take a nice big inhale and a full exhale. One more round, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. Okay. We'll do one more short little exercise before a relaxation. We're going to do figure 4, but just actually with a focus on the hamstring flossing. So you're going to take the right leg and cross it over the left leg. Your left knee is bent. Sit up, wrap the fingers around the back of the left thigh, and then lift and lower the left leg a couple of times. This is just going to help to release that left hamstring a little. We're getting an added right hip opener. So just kind of Lifting and lowering that left leg a couple of times. And then slowly bring it all the way down. Maybe hug the knees in. 1, 2, 3. And then release. Uncross the right leg and let's switch over to the second side, crossing the left leg over. So we've got this figure 4, but we're using it for a slightly different purpose today. With the hands around the back of the leg here, we're kind of massaging the hamstring. And by lifting and lowering here, we're moving everything and hydrating all the tissues and the nerves without any pressure of standing on the ground. So this is a nice, relaxing way to just help the body. And we've got this nice little hip opener on the left side now. Do a couple more times. And then slowly release, bring the foot down to the floor. Place both feet on the floor. And then let the knees drop in, but take the feet out to the side of the mat. So the knees are just gently resting on each other. Just bring the hands to the lower abdomen. And as you inhale, just really let the belly rise into the hands. So we're doing some nice deep diaphragmatic breathing. And as you exhale fully, begin to let the body just relax against the ground. Nice big inhale. And a full exhale. From here, just walk the feet in and then give yourself a hug. Squeeze the elbows around the legs, making sure the shins are lifting. Wrap your arms around your shins, squeeze the knees in towards you. So you draw yourself into a tight, tiny ball, and then release everything down to the floor. So the legs, the arms, the hands, the feet are gently supported by the ground. Feel the back of the hand resting on the floor, the fingers gently curling. Let the feet fully relax. And begin to scan from the crown of the head down through the spine, feeling the shoulders resting on the ground, the back of the pelvis, the legs, the hamstrings that we've just paid so much attention to. Let them fully switch off now, fully relax. The knees, the calves, the shins, the ankles, the feet. Feel the back of the ankle gently touching the ground. And let the body be fully supported. This is where gravity can take over. You don't have to hold yourself up. You can let yourself go. Let those muscles fully switch off. And let the benefits of this yoga practice just move through the body. Letting the breath be your guide. Feeling the inhale and the exhale. And anytime the mind starts to wander, just come back to the inhale. Feel the body rise with the breath. And come back to the exhale, feeling the body soften with the out breath. Take one more nice big inhale. Really feeling the lungs expand. And as you exhale, slowly exhale through pursed lips, letting everything soften. Let's do that one more time. A nice big energizing inhale. And a full exhale slowly through pursed lips. Good. With the next inhale, begin to wiggle the fingers and toes, bringing some movement back to the hands and the feet. And then stretch the arms out overhead and take a full body stretch. Point and flex the toes. And then walk everything in, bending the knees, walking the feet in, bring the hands down, or roll over onto your right hand side, moving nice and slowly. From here, push the hands into the floor and just make your way up to an easy cross-legged position, just so we can come together for the end of today's yoga practice. Let's bring our hands to our heart center in a prayer position. And I'd like to thank you for carving out this time today. Thank yourself. This is a great practice to help us reset, recharge, refocus. I wish you a wonderful evening and afternoon wherever you are. I'll see you next time.